Hi, good morning, everyone. Today, I, Shafril Ramadian, will present to you the study of International Human Resource Management or IHRM for workforce performance. The IHRM will discuss about how we can manage the people, policies, and procedures to onboard hiring as well as maintain the performance of our organization. We can also see how we can integrate that with the global standards through a local cultures and norms with the local wisdom. We will see the comparison across 4 different continents to look into the organizational behavior, best practices, challenges, and leadership style. Let's start with America continents. It is represented by the US for the companies like IBM, Microsoft, and Google. We can see from the leadership style, it is more on democratic with transformative approach, which means the leaders are normally with big vision, highly targeted to see as a globally mindset in place. So they want to expand as much and as fast as possible. The behavior in America is on custodial. The organization wants to recruit people with big salaries, big facilities for their well-being, as well as making sure that they are comfortable with good money for their family. Diversity is one of the strategic assets for American companies. You can see that in Google, for example, they appointed chief diversity officer to boost the hiring of minorities like Latina, Black, or women leaders. The way that they try to find the performance is through individual deliverables. So they see how individual can show in evidence before they can get promoted. One on another best practice that we can see in America is they use tech-enabled HRM like Workday or Lina AI. We will talk about that in next slide. They maximize their performance through how they use the e-technology for the HRM, where Workday can enable them to do a internal human resource allocation. They can also do the internal promotion, movement, hiring process, and expense management system that really helps them. They also apply a dual employment where person in America skilled in technology in America can go overseas, for example, in Indonesia, for them to teach the local team with the benefit according to the headquarter, although it's employed locally. The way that organization in America or in the US is clarity, full transparency, and also direct. So you can expect quick and speedy decision making. Although in the US, they have challenges, for example, in complex law and regulation there. You can see rapid technology advancement makes them a lot of people cannot keep up and there is a rising in unemployment. Let's go now to Asia, where I evaluated Unilever, Agoda, Samsung in several countries like in Indonesia, Japan, and also Korea. You can see notably difference with the US where they have paternalistic approach. They have a autocratic where person as leader can make decision without involving the team members there. Although organizationally, they actually put harmony and loyalty on top of the performance. They find that interpersonal trust, social bond, informal discussion, and also relationship really matters for you to get hired or actually to get promoted. The performance in the Asia normally is depending on the leaders. They appoint a culturally intelligent leader to see how they can have a proper balance on social bond as well as showing care in their leadership. The person in Asia we have a very good empathy, not only for the staff, but also the family member of the staff. We really want to put attention for the big event coming like wedding or even the passing away of the family member. The challenge here is we have slow evolution of our HR law. We also find out that maybe not everyone understand our culture and informal practices. For example, like we do not keen or prefer to see someone too straightforward or too direct. So it is something that expatriates will learn in Asia market. Let's go now to Africa. So in Africa, the way that they lead is through contextual. The leadership style in one country, like in Kenya, cannot happen or cannot be applicable in Nigeria or even in South Africa. So it really depends on the community where it is based. The CEO of Safaricom mentioned that he had to go through to the community to find out about the CSR activities as well as how they can strategize for their company. He mentioned that if community doesn't thrive, then company will not thrive. So they really need to see how natively influenced HR practices are depending on the economic and even the language diversification in Africa market. The practices in Africa, you can see that they have to maximize the performance through the similarly Asia, maximum performance through culturally intelligent leaders. So they have to find the right balance how to be an ethnic sensitive to several regions, as well as how they can nurture a local talent to be a leaders, because they will develop some pipeline to find good talent and bring the leaders in the future. The challenges in Africa is lack of tech adoption, where it has started. However, they have skilled staff shortages where they normally will bring expatriates to teach them. Another challenges is on the tribes and regulation there. Let's move to Oceania. So we can see that in companies like in Shell, BP, or Perpetual as one of the startup company, they apply a egalitarian leadership where it is more on low power. Everyone has equal voice before the leader can make the decision. The organization type is quite flat. The behavior is more on equality among everyone, but what is notably different is they apply a good work-life balance. So you have a very unique approach in Perpetual where you can have only 4 working days in a week, as well as the policy of work where you work best. So you can work anywhere as long as you can deliver. They also apply a strong D&I. They really are proud with the inclusiveness there. They actually employ someone like from the indigenous people or disabled. Let's talk about the AI-driven HRM in the next slide. We can see that maximum performance is through outcome-based flexibility. And we also see that how inclusive leadership can bring the maximum trust in the Oceania companies. Challenges is with the complex regulation. However, with Centris HRIS, with e-tech that they develop, they can embed this regulation inside the workflow process, so it can make the system faster for the people to go through end-to-end processes. However, we can see that with everyone is involved, it slow down the decision making. Let's look in the table of the comparative study that you can see in 4 different continents. So you can find the summary with regard to the ideal leadership style, cultural dimension, and where we can see that from a power distance and collectivism, it can determine how the leaders are developed in this continent. For low power, normally it will have open policy where leaders are open with the market, with the developed countries as the economic approach or economic situation in the countries, they will have more skill than the developing countries where it depends on higher or more paternalistic approach where leaders are normally highly skilled and has a stronger authority. We can see how they apply a promotion in the US and also in Oceania. They really follow the formal process, data-driven and individual deliverables, while in Asia and Africa is more on social bond, more on intertextual trust, where they need to know the person before they really can make the decision. Lastly, the conclusion of today's is key findings. We cannot have one size fits all HR strategies across all borders. So everyone has their own strategy and approach. It depends on the cultures and also economic situation. But we can see that there is always best practice that we can see from each continent, that as a HR professional, we can then see that it will bring a good combination to create a globally resilient HR practice for your company. I believe with the great IHRM, we can have a great performance of our organization. Let's conclude today with the future trends based on the study that we had just done. I will believe that in the near future, there will be more leaders that more adaptive, culturally and also emotionally question leaders. We can see that the more you can adapt, the better you can thrive. DNI will no longer in like Asia, in Australia or in the US. Asia and Africa will start to adopt more and more inclusiveness. The HRAM will be more on the in the near future. It will be centered to human requirement. It will be having a predictive learning development as well as recruitment. And as company, there is also another factor that we need to consider when we do the recruitment, i.e. whether we can do a proper screening through an ethical and sustainably way instead of only doing it through a formal approach. Lastly, there is no border workforce. We can recruit from anywhere and there is no limit, but then you have to make sure that you are still fully compliant. That's all for today references and presentation. You can see in detail in my presentation later. Thank you and have a great day.